ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
From the ECSI Sports Studios and the #1 sports investors in America, we bring you the closing bell. As the market closes, legends Jeff Dawson and Riley Magnuson bring you all the sports investing tips for tonight's matchups. If you want to learn more from the two legends at the desk, make sure you stay tuned to the closing bell.
Let me just change this. Actually, I'm going to bring them on anyways. Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the co-host, as you can see, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is the closing bell for Thursday, May 16th. Busy day. Shout out to our proud sponsor and partnership, of course, WagerWire. Go download the app at Google Play, wherever else you do. Myself, Travis, Zach, the rest of this community, growing day by day. You're in good hands. Trust me on that. Maybe that's a commercial right there. The good hands people. Oh, that's Allstate. I'm sorry. I can't use that one. But anyways, come join us. We're going to have some fun here. Over well less than an hour. Riley's getting ready for the weekend. No, he's still got another show with me tomorrow. But anyways, Riley, how the hell are you?
I am doing fantastic, my friend. It is, as you said, a busy day. We've got the end of some great basketball and hockey series that I'm getting excited about, and obviously day one of the PGA Championship. So all is well in the world of sports, my friend, and all is ripe for some good conversation here today. But small baseball slate we can touch on, I'm sure. But aside from that, we've got plenty of Game 5, 6s, 7s coming up here in some basketball and hockey. And like I said, some great action in golf. Good day one. So sure that tournament's going to be hot and heavy here these next few days. So I am, as I always say, ready to rock and roll, my friend, here today.
Giving a shout out here. I multitask in here. Shout out to Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights. Thank you for joining us. It has been a hell of a day. It's been a hell of a week, a hell of a run. Busy day here at ECSI. Started the morning out at 10:30 with Julian Edlow from DraftKings. 1 o'clock, Sean Alvarez from Wager Talk talking Preakness. And of course, here we're closing out the day. Again, a shout out to Noah Frank, Christian Morales, who did some producing and production on both those shows, and they've been doing a hell of a work. We might have something new and amazing coming at the start of next week, keeping our fingers crossed there. ECSI VIPs, everyone watching this show that follows us, the people that get our information on a daily basis, we were on a hell of a heater, plus 13 games, our last 44 games. If my head can wrap around this, 28, 15-1. That's 44 games. Our NHL totals have been spot on. The unders, the overs. Our team totals, I've been fading a little because we've been so hot on the totals. I thought I found a chink in the armor in the MLB with the help of Scotty Webb on pitchers that are allowing 2+ more homers a game, and it worked. And I feel slighted if I don't release the information to all our clients and our family here. Yesterday, five games hit the board, and when I never release 5 games, and I feel if I choose it as a buffet, I send out 3, we go 0-3, and the 2 that are on the desk, of course, go 2-0. I released all 5 yesterday, and it was the reverse sweep, 0-5. Now, am I pissed? Oh, I am more than pissed right now because I don't release that. I'm not a volume guy, and we're still plus 8 games on the run. I'm happy with that, but 0-5 leaves a mark. And as you can see, I'm still salty, and I want to start here, Riley. 15 games in the MLB yesterday. That means 30 teams played. 30 teams played. Athletics, Guardians, Twins, Padres, all shut out. Reds, Brave, Dodgers, all scored 1 run. Cardinals, Royals, Diamondbacks, Marlins, Pirates, Blue Jays, all scored 2 runs. Can you imagine scoring 2 runs and the Diamondbacks and Marlins both won? 3 runs. Orioles, Red Sox, Astros, Orioles and Astros each won. Giants, Rangers, Yanks, Rays, Mariners all scored 4 runs. Feel free to thank you, Mr. Sailor. That's why I'm here. That's right. So my point is this, Riley. If my math is correct, 24 teams out of 30 yesterday scored 4 runs or less. So that means 6 out of 30, 20% in the MLB scored 5 runs or more yesterday. I've been talking for weeks to Scott Webb saying something is wrong with MLB. I haven't heard the dead ball era yet. These starting pitchers, these names that you got to pull up on Wikipedia are looking like Pedro. The contact rate. As you see, I'm still salty. Answer this question, Riley. What the bleep is going on with the MLB right now?
You said it perfectly. There's so many guys right now that even people that are above average, more than what you would consider what the people say as casual fans, you pull up a guy and his info, and you're shocked to see that he's been lights out for 6 straight games, and you've barely heard of him more than maybe in passing and in some box scores here and there. So I don't know what the hell is happening. I mean, the only thing I can hope is that as the weather warms up, the ball starts jumping a little bit more, and I feel like we've had this conversation in the past, but not to this level, like we're talking about right now. And you say 6 had 5 or more. I think it was 5 of them were 7 or 8 or more. So there wasn't much in between. It was, 5 teams blew up and had a day, and everyone else was stickers. And like you said, I don't remember how many you said scored 2 runs and won their game, but I know the White Sox did as well. I obviously nobody cares about the White Sox right now, but 3-1 wins, 2, like you said, Marlins, Diamondbacks, 2 runs and a victory. So it is bizarro right now, and there are a lot of offenses that are dormant, a lot of players that are not living up to what you would expect out of them. So whether something they got to put juice into these balls these next few weeks here as we get closer into the summer, or you're going to have 50 guys that are going to wake up and realize the season started and start to put the ball in the seats. I don't know. Other than that, I don't know. Like you said, there's so many guys that are on the mound that unless you're watching 10 screens of baseball every single day, you've probably barely heard of half of these guys that are pitching lights out right now.
ECSI VIPs yesterday 0 for 6 with the bases loaded. We had that one opportunity with the Rangers to stop the bleeding. They had 4 runs. Their under-over was 4.5. They had the bases loaded. I just needed contact. Put the ball in play. You're going to get the 5th run. Stop the bleed. Of course, 0 for 6. Okay, we are at the quarter pole. These teams have played 40-plus games now. It's not spring training woes. It's not warm weather, cold weather. Next weekend is Memorial Day, and I'm beside myself. I am trying every which way but loose to figure this Rubik's Cube up. And I'm saying to myself, of course, the easy answer is, Jeff, why don't you just play all the unders? Why don't you play the team total unders? Because they're so heavily juiced. 4.5 juice under -145. 3.5 juiced under -140. Oh, they'll flip it. Here, I'll give you over 3.5 -140. The problem is the 40 cents, the 35 cents, the 30 cents, the 25 cents, even the 20 cents at the end of a week start to add up. And so if I told you, let's take the over in the Braves yesterday. Let's take the over in the Dodgers. They each scored 1 run. The other team that scored 1 run was the Reds, who had a team total of 4.5. The Blue Jays, 2 runs. Cards, 2 runs. Red Sox, Astros, Orioles, all 3 runs. So, again, I'm getting this out of my system right now just so everyone else that follows us can understand that, as Russell says, I'm I'm for juicing the balls and the players. I was managing Dino's Sports Bar on the kitchen side during the greatest time when baseball was dead. So how did they get baseball back? Steroids. I was a part of the Bonds, Sosa, McGuire. When there's a line waiting to order, and I got the knock on the door that either McGuire was up, Sosa was up, or Barnes was up. And everyone knew that came to order food when they were up. We ran over to the sports bar. You had to sit and wait because it was must-watch TV. Sports Center, ESPN was the flash. McGuire's up, Sosa's up. It was must-watch TV. This is like, we're speeding up the game for the millennials and the Gen Zs. Our under-overs for the times now is 2 hours and 20 minutes. If you go to the bar or the beer stand and to get a hot dog and an ice cream sundae to boot, you might miss 3 innings, Riley, now.
If you're at the game, absolutely. And there's pros and cons to that, 100%. But as far as, juicing the balls, we had a few years ago where we were talking about the exit velocity or whatever it was that was off the charts. And there's so many guys that just aren't put the ball in the seats right now. And we've had it's an interesting point. So something's got to give here. And whether that's this year or not, I'm not suggesting, but within the next few years, something's got to give, and we've got to lean into something one way or another here. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's and like you said, the easy answer would say to stop doing the overs and go for the unders. But like you said, it's not as simple as you make it as anyone can make it sound, because the prices are so juiced. Or when the second you do, then they will. A month later you'll find out that the balls were juiced, and now we've got 5 homers a game. So yeah. Other than that, I don't know what to tell you, and I'm hoping for some fireworks soon here in the MLB, my friend.
PGA started today. Last night, ECSI VIPs got our write-up. That's 2 weeks of work. We have 2 sources that we do 1,000-round simulations. We take the simulation odds to win the tournament versus the actual odds that you're getting at your sports books, and we try to decipher exactly how to attack this second major. On the Masters, I just grabbed the bull by the horns. I know a lot of people have heard this. There were 89 golfers in the Masters. 30 of them couldn't walk 72 holes. You could just scratch that off. And then the next 30, there was about a 3 to 5% chance, so you can scratch them off. So there was basically 29 golfers to choose from. We took Scotty Scheffler 2 units. So instead of plus 475, we had him at plus 950. Congrats, we won. Saturday, we grabbed Rory in after 2 rounds. He was plus 400. Circa was offering Xander, who had a 4-shot lead, minus 140. I read between the tea leaves. Congrats there. This tournament, there's 156 golfers, 20 club champs. The block party, everyone remembers Michael Block last year. Well, he won't be playing on Saturday, so we'll just leave it at that. So, but those 20 club champs have 18 holes to tell their grandkids. So my point here is, I couldn't dig into Scotty yet. The minus, he was plus 450, maybe 455 at Circa. I'm a big Rory fan. I almost was thinking I'm going to do a 2-unit play on Rory. I stopped myself, hoping that maybe on Friday or Saturday, if they have a bad round, we could dive in. So our simulator for actual simulation on the course for this tournament and odds to win the tournament, the closest to absolutely spot on, as I said in the alert, X marks the spot, was Xander Schauffele at 14-1. Now, as I said in the write-up, you can do some pizza and beer on the first round leader. I hope someone did. I think he was plus 2,500, plus 2,300, somewhere like that. They're still out there too. Then we went from Xander to Brooks, et cetera. So my point is, everyone was passing on Xander because he can't win a major, never mind close a tournament. Well, if Rory didn't double bogey 18, he would have shot 63 on Sunday. Xander didn't lose the tournament. Rory won the tournament. So I'm going to start the PGA talk because at around 2:15, Scheffler finally gets onto the first hole. Second shot, flies it in for eagle, and everyone ran to the window like, he's in, he's a winner. Forget it. Stop the press. I mean, of all things Scotty could do. My point is, everyone that's waiting for Xander to lose this tournament, I got news for you guys. He is not moving off the leaderboard. Now, someone could go out and win. Rory's lurking. There's a bunch lurking. And so I will close with this. The one name I had on our desk that was 50-1 in our simulator that was 80-1, and I didn't release him, was Tony Finau. And I'm not trying to play Monday morning quarterback here. It's nice when you got the leaderboard corded, but I feel real good about Xander. I feel good about where we are with a bunch of other guys. Thoughts on opening day?
Right, and to just piggyback off the Xander conversation, he's never really, the C word, the choke word, he's never really choked. Anytime he hasn't finished, it's someone else going out of their mind and taking it, would have been able to take it from just about anybody on that given day. So I'm with you there. Scotty's still got a decent way to go here in round one, so interested to see how that goes. And what's interesting with Finau is you get him, he's at 6 under right now, still 22-1 odds to win the whole thing. So not a ton of respect as of right now with where he is, despite how obviously we've seen. And for him, it's more of a question of when he's on. He's top 15, 20 player. And so I was interested to see that he's still only 22-1. Brooks is the other guy. Obviously, he's the reigning champ of the PGA Championship. So I would, that's obviously one guy who's got another gear. What was kind of, as of right now, what's kind of threw me off a little bit, he's about plus 100 still to finish his top 10, despite where he's at right now. So that kind of threw me off as far as the respect factor going forward here. I would have respected, and I mean, it does line up with where everyone else is at as far as the leaderboard. But for someone like that of that name, and you see him at wherever he is, 4 or 5 under, yeah, I would have respected a bigger, a tougher number to get into for a top 10 there, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'm not saying he's going to collapse. He could absolutely, I think it's going to go, for him one way or another. He could go, balls to the wall and go crazy and compete for this thing, or, slip a little bit into the 20-30 range there. So Thigala is another one that, showed a ton of promise a couple of years ago and has been kind of treading water this last year or so. So I am curious to see where he goes here these next couple of days. If he can maintain and stay in that top 5 going into Saturday, I kind of like his chances. As a closer, we haven't really seen it too much there, but I could see him with a good finish. The guy who before he went to Live was in the same conversation as the top 3 or 4 guys that his name has kind of slipped a little bit as far as our perception, and granted, he hasn't been playing as consistently as he was before he left. It's Cam Smith, who now in some recent majors has been putting up some nice numbers. So at 3 under, if he can get, that's one guy that right now that I'd be, 50-1 that I'd be, if you're looking at, I missed the boat and now I'm trying to play before Friday gets in, then, that's a longer shot that, he could be real consistent for 4 days and get himself in the mix there. So Cam Smith is one that I'm keeping an eye on for sure. The other guy that has got some respect, I think he's on the course right now, so that's a big factor to it. But I believe Wyndham Clark is who I'm talking about. I can't find where he's 2 under through 9 right now, and he's getting a decent amount of respect on the board for only being at 2 under, but obviously having a lot of 9 holes to go today. So that is one that another guy that's coming into the tournament that I was looking at and has been, starting to get back into form of what we saw last year and whatnot. So Wyndham Clark is another guy that I'm looking at. Tom Kim is another guy that I've been in love with lately. So that one is always one that I'm looking at. We haven't quite seen that extra gear from him though. So that would be one where, plus 330 to finish top 10 or something for a Tom Kim would be one that I'd be interested in there. But aside from that, there's not a ton of guys that are really what you and I usually say as the term as in form right now that could come out of nowhere and make a huge push that isn't already up there. I mean, John Rahm is obviously a guy, he didn't play well today, and we obviously know what he's capable of. But the last handful of months, he really just hasn't been that killer instinct, I guess, is what you would call it, in that extra gear. So I'm not. If he has a big day tomorrow and gets himself back up there, then I'll eat my words. But I'm not expecting too much from him. And then Willie Z is always the other guy that, as long as he can stay healthy and he can get himself going, he's only at 1 under right now through 9. So another guy to look at there. But I don't think there's anyone that's too far down that has been playing well lately. I mean, you got Ludwig Aberg, but these last since the Masters, he hasn't really shown a ton. So I'm not looking too deep into him right now. And then, like I said, unless you were seeing somebody, maybe I'm forgetting somebody. I guess Cantlay is the only one that is close to in form who has been, his odds have been getting a ton of respect, who's 2 over through 9 right now. So he's got to bounce back a little bit the second half today to get himself back up in there. But that's a guy that at least the last year, his pre-flop odds have been plenty of respect. But hasn't quite been in. I mean, hasn't had those finishes that you saw from him a couple years ago himself. So that is, I guess, one guy down the list that I would be interested to see if he can bounce back and get himself hot for Saturday and Sunday. But aside from that, I don't have anybody that's not really in the mix that I could see making a big push here Friday, and obviously if they make the cut Friday into Saturday.
You listed a few of those guys that we had. Again, big boy course. This is a course for bombers. But again, you can not be a bomber and be strong with long iron play. So again, our simulator came in to some of the usual cast of characters, the Hovlands of the world, the Neiman's of the world, good iron plays. I'm missing one, Morikawa's of the world. We do have a Wyndham Clark ticket out there as well. Was still scared of the back, but the value on Matsuyama was another guy there. Russell Saylor says Cam Smith 9-1 tomorrow to have the lowest round 2 score for live golfers. Russell, I would throw some pizza and beer money on that. The problem with him off the tee, other than that, good iron player, and we know what he can do with the flat stick if he gets hot there. But for 9-1, definitely worth the price of admission there. So again, for the average Joe when it comes to golf, they're looking at a Xander Schauffele -9, and then a guy that's +1, 2, or 3. They're like, well, he's done. Well, I get that thought process, but the problem is when the 9 comes down to second and third, the Tony Finau's and the Rorys of the world, and then the +1, 2s now get to 2 and 3 under. That's where you get the squeeze. Can you pull up, because they had a announcer out there that thought that you were going to get to 18 or 20. Do you know what the projected final winner was going to be before they started today? Was it around -13 or 14, or do you have that number?
I don't know if I have that off the top of my, or right on my, what I've got in front of me here, but 13, 14 does sound right, but I don't know. I don't have that right in front of me.
Yeah, because I can't see 18 or 19. Again, I usually get that number on Wednesdays with Brady Kannon, with Jeff Sherman from the Westgate, but I didn't get that number. So, again, it's going to be a fun weekend. You and I will be definitely breaking this down again tomorrow. Still time to get in. Again, I'm not – what is for shits and giggles, what is the number right now for Xander to win the tournament?
250
plus 2. So again, not enough meat on that bone yet. So again, what do they got Rory at?
5-1, 500.
500. And what is Scotty?
At least this is all on DraftKings. He's at 330.
330. Okay. So, and what is he right now? -2?
He's at -3.
He's at -3, and he started -2, so he's only gained 1 to the field since it. So right now, Xander Schauffele, he's got a 6-shot lead on Scotty Scheffler, who's obviously got the back 9 to play. So that's why I love golf. It's just so fun, and you can dive in on pre-flop, which is real hard, or you can go round to round. Like last week, we jumped in on Rory starting on Saturday, got 4-1, and he just blows doors on Sunday. So thank you. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I wanted to give props to, we haven't seen this guy in the mix in I don't know how long, but Jason Duffner 3 under That's a name we haven't been floating around. I don't think you and I have ever maybe even mentioned that name since you and I have been doing shows together. Not suggesting anything for odds or place any bets. I almost passed through him 5 times. It took me the 6th time looking through the leaderboard to even notice that he was there, and he's still on the course now. So I got to give it a shot. He was always fun to watch, and he had a hot streak 10 years ago or something like that. So, but no, I don't think you and I have ever even thought about him since you and I have been doing shows.
As soon as I heard Jason with a D, I was like, oh, you mean Jason Day? No, Jason Dupna. Last night, Stars couldn't close out the Avs. They said, no, not yet. So great third period by the Avs. They'll be playing a game 6 in Colorado, I think tomorrow. If not tomorrow, tomorrow. Bruins game 6 tomorrow. Trying to stave off elimination. Again, the Bruins go as far as Swayman goes. If he can allow 2 or less, I think they got a good shot tomorrow. If Florida gets to 3, I think it's a wrap there. Celtics take care of business. Again, a depleted Donovan Mitchell, Levert, and kind of sad on the Cleveland organization right after the game, putting out they have no decision yet on the coach. Listen, this guy coached his ass off this year. The problem is when you bring in a Donovan Mitchell with the youth, again, Mobley banged up, Levert, they were all banged up. Listen, don't fire the coach. If you want to move on Donovan Mitchell, and there's talks of the Lakers, of course, but I've had rumblings of the Spurs and a couple other teams that might be interested. Don't go get Bickerstaff. Please don't do that there. Mavs says, OKC, we're not afraid of you at OKC. Luka and company take care of business. Luka banged up a little. Any news on Luka? Is he okay?
I haven't got any serious updates. I mean, I assume he's good to go for Game 6, but I mean, banged up is really the best thing that I can say to it. I don't see any official designation for I don't know if it's tomorrow night or the night. I think it's actually Saturday for them. So he's got a couple days to for the travel and getting himself a little healthier. But I think he's going to be playing. But like you said, banged up, and fighting through it and trying to eliminate the Thunder in Game 6 on Saturday. I think
we got. Let me see. Tonight, Denver, Minnesota, opening number of Minnesota -2.5, still 2.5 at the Circa and Superbook. South Point DraftKings has it down to 2, an over-under of 205 right now. Listen, Minnesota had their opportunities. They shocked the world, win both games in Denver, and then Joker and company said, hold my beer. They go in, they win game 3 and 4 in Minnesota. They made a statement in game 4. Minnesota played a decent first half in game 5, couldn't get themselves over like to put that fear of God like they did in game 1 and 2. Denver takes care of business. Now looking to close them out there. NBA tonight, thoughts on Denver, Minnesota game 6?
Yes, and like we talked about, I can't remember if it was after Game 3 or Game 4, but Minnesota is just going to have to get that supporting cast around. Not only Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards playing well, but someone else, at least offensively, contributing and making a big impact like we've seen in past years with some teams that advance far here. So as far as the spread, I mean, I like Minnesota's chances tonight to win and cover this one. The interesting one for me was I saw total, as you said, the total is set at 205. 205.5 in game 3, 205, and these are the closing numbers that I see on this app here. 205.5, 205, 205, each of the last 3 games, and we go over. Stuck right at 205 again, and I saw on DraftKings Bet Tracker, at least on that app, 85% of bets and money to the over here tonight, my friend. So, I of course, this could go over. I would be willing to say that one of these two teams might not crack 100, and that might not be crazy to say because the team totals are pretty in the, I think, 105 101.5 and 103.5, if I'm not wrong. But I'd be willing to bet that, whoever wins this game, I will lean towards Minnesota, but would not shock me at all if Denver once again showed up and looked like the defending champs, the bully on the block here. But I will say I feel pretty decent that at least one of these teams could stay under that 100 and we might have a 105-92 type game again here tonight. Whoever that is winning, I don't know. I'll lean towards Minnesota, but that's kind of where my head's at with this one tonight, is the under overall.
I like where your eyes are. Again, when we bring emotion in and try to play psychologist, that's usually when our wallets and bankroll get hurt the most. And I'm going to bring it in for a second. Sometimes we read too much of our press clippings, and a young team like Minnesota on the cusp of greatness. Don't forget, you could have got Denver at as high as 14-1 after down 2-0 to win the NBA championship. Never mind to win the West. You could have got a huge number on that. That's why, again, diving in daily, taking a look, adding these tickets to your portfolio sometimes helps for hedge opportunities, as our Dallas at 13-1 to win the West ticket. I was all smiley because I liked our chances against Minnesota. I didn't have to worry about them. But first, we had to get through OKC. So just like Dallas went into OKC last night, I'm expecting that same effort from OKC. As they had in Dallas. I think that's going to go 7. I really do. And wouldn't be shocked if the Mavs found a way to win in OKC for the third time there. My point here on Minnesota is, how did they get to be so good? Yes, Ant is one of the reasons. Karl Anthony Towns, okay, the sixth man of the year award guy there too. My point is, it's defense. They got to feed off of the crowd. They got to slow Denver down. Okay, they got to make Joker human. They can't have him out there palming the ball like this as they double team him and he's deciding A, B, or C or tic-tac-toe. My point is defense, defense, defense. I like where your eyes are with the under. I like Minnesota in the first half. I think because Denver has a way in Game 6 on the road to take the crowd out early. Oh, yeah. And if Minnesota does that, allows them to do that, it's a wrap. Don't even come out for the second half. So I like the under in the full game. I like Minnesota first half in this game.
Yep, and like you said, slowing them down and trying to break up the passing lanes. I mean, Jokic, after those first couple of games, obviously he's scoring like a madman as well. But some of the ball movement he's been, obviously we're used to it. And that's why he's won his MVP awards and won the championship last year. But these last couple of games, he's looked unbelievable in the lane and all over the floor, from passing and passing in lanes that you might not expect. So they're gonna have to figure out a way to break that up, or obviously limit the backdoor cuts and cuts to the basket. So that is what I'm expecting, my friend. So I am hoping for a good one and hoping for a Game 7. I would be very surprised if Minnesota is able to win this and win Game 7 and come back and win the series. But I do think, they got a great chance tonight to at least push 7 and have another chance there. But I'm still expecting Denver to win this series here. So only one game tonight. We've got we'll talk about Pacers and Knicks tomorrow and Indy tomorrow night. So interested to see how that one goes. And then, like I said, Thunder and Mavericks on Saturday night as well. So not sure when Game 1 of another series is projected to start, but you got a couple. If they get there, a couple Game 7s on Sunday potentially. So I don't think if they finish quickly enough, I don't think there would be one over the weekend for the conference finals, but I could be wrong with that. I don't know if you have any idea about that one as well.
No, I'm unsure. I know this, my buddy with the season tickets for the Celtics and our yearly trip to the Eastern Conference Finals says we're in. I'm either going Sunday, Game 1 Eastern Conference Final against the Knicks, or we go Tuesday because there was a Game 7, Knicks and Pacers. So we will see. I don't know who I'm rooting for. The Knicks Boston is all good, but they're too banged up. They'll come in, they'll steal a game. I like the Pacers Celtics series better because I think you got more offense. I think it'll be funner. It'll be more enjoyable to watch the pace, the up and down, and the youth with Halliburton and company there. So will be interesting there. Baseball tonight, one game today. Yankees beat Minnesota 5-0. They scored 3 in the first. Schmidt versus Ryan. There's another goose egg from another team, Minnesota. Again, Yankees just keep finding a way to do it. I still think the Orioles will be the team to beat in the East. As you said, a short schedule. Tampa at Boston tonight. Lytle versus Criswell. Sox right now -112 with a flat 8 there. Oakland at Houston. Estes versus Javier. Houston minus 203 there. Late night Glass now and Mr. Lucky's team versus Cincinnati and Suter. I mean, minus 315. I mean, Glass now has had a great start to the year. All the high stakes fantasy baseball gurus that had him, hats off, because you guys called it. But come talk to me in August. The guy hasn't pitched over 120 innings in his career. Come talk to me in August. I don't care about the 11, 12 and 1, 12 and 2 at the All-Star break. Come talk to me in August. Is he still pitching in September? That's what I want to know. Mets and Phillies, what can I say? Phillies have been slow starters. They're the team to beat right now. And the talk of trying to get the closer from Oakland, Miller, add him to the Phillies right now with their starting pitchers, with their offense, and sign me up, coach, with the Phillies.
Yes, that one. I mean, we can talk about this game and then we can move on to those couple of NHL games. You've got a pitching matchup, two guys that have not pitched well this year. Quintana obviously hasn't pitched well in a few years, but Walker as well. I think only one run allowed last time out against Miami, but gave up 8 hits. So scattered 8 hits and got out of it a lot of damage. Only 8.5 on the total. Phillies at home only minus 135. Any chance that we see some life out of this Mets offense, or are we going to see a disappointing performance from this Phillies offense tonight?
Again, an 8.5 juiced under. This is the classic. Is it the 5-4 game? Again, talking about freaks. Okay, Ranger Suarez. What did you do over the winter? This guy, when you're wheeling out Nola and Wheeler, and now you add a Suarez to the mix with Bryce Harper, with Stott, the list is endless. And this team has been knocking on the door. I'm telling you right now, I know it's the Dodgers. We're waiting on the Braves. Chris Sale, another pitcher that has came out of the gates, guns a blazing. Come talk to me in August if he's still pitching there. And they lost Strider. So again, here's something. Over 8.5, and the final score will be 3-0, right?
Yeah, or 6-0 or something like that. You get one team showing up and the other team not showing up. So. No, that was just an interesting one. Wanted to talk about there, and those pitchers a little uninspiring. But aside from that, I don't have too much to talk about out of this slate tonight. Would you have are you respecting the Rays as kind of a pick 'em almost here against Boston on the road here tonight?
The Sox are in just. Someone reached out to me. He's like, Jesus, Duran hasn't run in forever. They put the stop sign on him. The Sox are so banged up, they don't want him to get hurt. And they're like, listen, kid, you get on first, your ass is staying on first. Yeah. We don't need another hurt body there. The offense from the Sox, we got lucky. We had the over 2 nights ago when you and I did the bell. Team total over 4.5, and it went to extras at 3-3. And Ray scored a run, we scored a run, then we got the 5-4 win there to win that one. Money's trickling in on Tampa. Last game of the series, I'll slight lean Red Sox to stop the bleeding and try to steal a win here. But it poured last night. It poured this morning. It's dark and gloomy here on Cape Cod, about an hour away from Friendly Fenway. So I think they'll get the game in. I don't know if it's raining, but the humidity should be low. The ball should be jumping. But in MLB right now, the ball jumping. And you did say something, Riley, a few seconds ago. It's like one team shows up, they get the lead, the other team quits. So you see the 4-0, the 5-0, like the Yankees game. There's no fight back in baseball.
No, it's bizarre, and I don't know if that's going to change as we get through and teams start having a sense of urgency for some of these games when they realize that they're in the thick of a playoff race or what it's going to be. But I don't know. It's bizarre. Last one that, and then we can switch over to NHL. Would have respected the Cubs as a bigger favorite at home. Justin Steele, a guy that Cubs fans are waiting for to break out a little bit here. Total is at 8, but minus 122, 125, and down at least on DraftKings, I think minus 120. FanDuel minus 112 for the first 5 here. Are we seeing an ugly Justin Steele start here, or am I reading too much into that?
What is the famous line that we always use when he pitches? Are we going to see steel or aluminum can? right? And tomorrow is Paul Skeens Day at Wrigley. So Jones has been lights out. He's the forgotten guy now because Skeens is up there. So again, you better jump on him while you can. You would lean Cubs and Steel today. I'm going to flip-flop. I think the Pirates find a way. I think the game goes over 8. I think there's going to be some runs scored. I'm going aluminum can, not steel today. And I think the Cubs find a way to get to Jones as well. But I think there'll be some runs scored, and maybe tomorrow on Paul Skeens Day, there'll be some less runs scored there. Let me see. Let me pull up the hockey for everyone here. Come on. Here we go. Hockey tonight. Carolina at the Rangers. Carolina. No, that's the series, right? Geez. Rangers at Carolina. Rangers win I was looking at the series. Rangers win the first 3 games. Carolina says, hold my beer. They win game 4 at home. They steal game 5. And now Carolina minus 156 with a 5.5. Listen, guys, anyone watching and following us, at down 3-0, I says they were going to get back to this point. Now does Shesterkin stand on his head? Mr. 99 saves in 2 games in game 2 or 3. Or does Carolina find a way to get it to a game 7? And you will hear a pin drop if that happens. I like the Hurricanes here. Tight game. I'd go under the 5.5 there. Edmonton, Vancouver. Listen, I was the first one to say Vancouver had no chance. I was wrong. Edmonton's got to change goalies. 2-0, I think it was. Was it? What was the last score in the last game there, Riley? Can you pull it up? Was it 2-0?
Yep, give me a second. Come on now. I'm sorry, you're talking to Edmonton, Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
That was 3-2 in this last game.
3-2, yeah. Okay, so Edmonton got out early. Vancouver came back. I assume they're going to stick to the kid. It's Edmonton minus 138, was 145 overnight. It was a 6.5 under. Now 6 at Circa. He's doing the same thing, 6.5 everywhere else. Jeffrey Benson, I talked to him on Tuesday. He was the only person that had a flat 6. Everyone had a 6.5. It snuck over. He's sticking to his 6s again. He's telling me that it's going to be 6. So is it 4-2? Is it 3-2? He likes the under today. They're taking all over 6 bets at minus 24 cents. Tough call here. This is what Edmonton really needs. It's 2-2. They're coming back right now in the series. Edmonton minus 185, and you can get Vancouver at plus 155. Right now, the Rangers, Carolina. Rangers still minus 240. So I'm going to tell everyone something here as well. I'm glad I thought of this. You can go grab Carolina right now plus 205 to win the series. So if you like Carolina tonight, don't lay the 165. Don't play it in regulation. Don't lay the puck line. Take a swing at them at plus 205. They've been favored in every game. Here's my point.
Right,
if you take Carolina plus 205 tonight and they win, they're going to be favored in game 7. So you then can take the Rangers for a unit, and you're guaranteed a unit. You don't care who wins the game. Okay. So Carolina plus 205 to win the series tonight. They win tonight. They go to a game 7. They'll be favored in Madison Square Garden. You take the Rangers, you guarantee yourself a unit. How's that, Riley?
I think that is a fantastic advice because not a lot. Again, we've talked about it in the past. Not a lot of people look ahead that much and realize that, and especially when you got a minus 160, it makes a hell of a lot of sense in tonight's case. And at worst, like you said, they are probably going to be favored even in New York. At worst, pick them minus 120 for New York at worst. And you still got a way to get yourself some guaranteed money there. So I do like that, my friend. And I am on the other end of it rooting for Edmonton. That is my one of my longer standing tickets I've had in the NHL there. So rooting for that one. And, of course, I keep giving the updates. Got to getting real close to my SGA points leader, plus 300 in that series there. It's been rolling along very nicely. So got to avoid another 50 burger got to avoid a 50 burger from Luka in these last couple of games here, and wouldn't be upset if we just close it out in 6. And, as long as he doesn't outscore him by 40 or something like that in this next game, we're in business. So that is what I've got, my friend. I was trying to look in Wrigley. I'm not going to be able to get myself there. I'm upset, or otherwise I might, because I was expecting the ticket prices from today to tomorrow to be a giant jump with Paul Skeens Day. Not a bad difference for anyone who's able to get themselves over to Wrigley tomorrow and wants to see the Paul Skeens show. Some pretty reasonable tickets out there for a beautiful 75-degree day at 1:30 in the afternoon in Chicago. So I'm not going to be able to make it there, but for anyone who's in the area and wants to see some good baseball, I think that is going to be a good chance to see some young pitching action there in Wrigley tomorrow.
Any closing thoughts?
I'll leave that as my closing thoughts. Other than that, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be updating, keep you updated with some golf talk, and not a big UFC fight night on Saturday night, but a reasonable one. So maybe we mention that as well tomorrow. But other than that, just gearing up for these playoff series and some PGA Championship golf all weekend long, my friend.
And the same here from Cape Cod, Mass. Have a good night. Again, the baseball board looks like it's Chinese right now. I like the angle. If you like the Hurricanes tonight, just take them in the series, get the 2-1 action. They've been favored in every game, including Madison Square Garden. They'll be short favorites in a Game 7. So if they lose, well, you lose a unit, but you're getting 2-1 on a favorite. I like that opportunity. And you can obviously hedge off, make a guaranteed unit in Game 7. Edmonton, Vancouver, going to be a hell of a game. I've been enjoying the hockey so much. Bruins tomorrow night. PGA golf around the clock. Again, anyone, we'll talk tomorrow about it. We'll have a better feel what the cut's going to be or close to it. And then maybe throw some stuff up on my timeline to give some guys some clues after I read the circa numbers from Jeffrey Benson. Get a feel for it. Again, Schauffele, even though with the lead, the names of Scotty Scheffler, the names of Rory McIlroy, the Brooks Koepkers will hold a lot of weight, even, 3, 4, 5 shots back. No one believes in Xander. They remember what they saw which was last week. And again, guys, don't forget, Xander didn't lose the tournament on Sunday. Rory just grabbed the shit out of that trophy and says, it's mine. And without that double, would have shot -8. No, 62. 63 he would have shot. He doubled 18 because he had such a big lead. So anyways, from myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Investor, one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. We wish everyone a blessed evening. Have some fun out there. Mr. Saylor, thank you as always. Mr. Berry, thank you as well. Tomorrow, 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific, 3 Men in a Box, college baseball. Matt Grissom will be live from Circa. He is there right now with Sean Alvarez. They're sitting poolside. They were doing their show from the pool, the cabanas. Must be tough over there. I didn't get that application. What the hell? So here I am on Cape Cod and 2 inches of rain. So anyways, and then myself and Riley will be back around 4:30, 5 o'clock. Enjoy your evening, guys, and have some fun. We'll see you soon.